feedback from the students is extremely good.
Yeah.
You've been doing this boot camp for
A year.
a year.
Yeah.
So I think that makes you more experienced and
Yeah.
then you already know how to handle and support students.
Yep. So it's a year and a half now.
Yeah.
This is the third batch. Each batch is 6 months.
Like how much more or less they can earn after the program?
Okay. If the highest earning programmers are mostly based in the U.S. So in the U.S., an entry-level programmer earns about $170,000 to $100,000 a year.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah. So, which is really good because, like, that turns out to be around $50 to $60 an hour, which is really good.
Yeah.
So you work like 4 hours a day and you're okay to live. If you're somewhere else in, let's say, the Philippines, if you work like 4 hours a day, you're good.
Wow. How about that's the highest?
Yeah, that's about
graduates.
that's about the average in the U.S. So if you Google search like junior programmers salary from Glassdoor or salary report, you would get like the same, like anywhere from $60,000, $70,000 to $100,000 a year.
And since it's IT, you can work remotely.
Yes.
So wherever they are,
Yes.
they can earn.
Yes. In other countries, let's say UK, they're booming now. So UK is offering about the same amount. The demand is not that much yet, but they're gaining on it. The highest demand right now is in Singapore.
Ooh.
Yeah, because of the startups. So most of the startups are in Singapore because that's the most friendly country to start your startup. So they're like the money that they earn in there is not that great, but they have a lot of opportunities.
Difficult to enter or get a job from US or Australia or Canada or Singapore.
Not really. Singapore, you have to be there because of the culture. US, they're very used to outsourcing to other people remotely so that they can pay less. Because like $100,000 if you are in office with them. If they're outsourcing to the Philippines or some other country, they might be able to pay less. So they save money if they outsource. Yeah.
Okay. Wait a minute, that's the things. And after they finish this program, they can start earning right away.
Actually, on their third month, I normally task them if I think that they can. The third month final term project would be getting your own client. So it's up to you if you want to ask money for it. So you can start earning as early as the third month of the course.
Okay. And what's the strength point of this boot camp? Like this program is longer than other short program. Like for example, some other programs are only 1 month, 2 months, like that.
Okay. So the difference is we start from zero.
Yes.
We always assume that even if you know some, that's good. But we start from zero. And then we go through many different technologies. So let's say actually this is faster than most. So if you are gonna enroll, let's say, a month-long course on JavaScript, we only do this in the bootcamp for 2 weeks. So we are faster, more fast-paced. You learn more. Plus, after the bootcamp, our goal is for you not to enroll anymore. Anyway.
Next question. Some IT people tell them that, oh, I learned IT by myself. I just Google it, and everything is free, and so you don't need to go to school. What do you think about this?
For sure. We use the same materials from online. I create my own materials, but most of the time we use more reliable, more time-tested materials from online tutorial sites, let's say W3 schools or any other resource site, that's more reliable. The problem with that is the bootcamp is kind of like a roadmap. Without that, it's easy to get lost because it's too easy, too convenient. Yeah. If you say search on YouTube, let's say JavaScript tutorial, you'd probably get like thousands. So the problem is, which one do I take?
Can students learn the same thing that they learn in the US or Australia if they studied here in this bootcamp?
Yes. We're using the same resources. So even if you study anywhere else, we're using the same resources from those like well-known websites.
I was surprised because you have a 43-year-old student and she didn't have any background. Usually, it's really difficult and I think most of the time they give up. But she, completed. What do you think about that?
Yeah, it's not an age. We have like a 60, 80-year-old app developer somewhere in the US. So it's possible. It's not the age. Actually, I like more matured people than younger ones because the younger ones is easy to get lost. They have like lots of ideas in mind. So it's hard for them to focus. So it's harder for me to teach younger ones than older ones.
Determination easily to be changed.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't want this, I want this.
Yes, exactly.
So in your case, because the woman said, when he said, you are very patient to teach them the same thing again and again.
Yes. So I normally do that if I think that they need to repeat something. It's okay, it's my job to repeat because this is repetition. It's kind of like learning martial arts. We don't do it once. You do it over and over again until you're comfortable with it. Because let's say mostly for older people, they don't have the capacity to memorize stuff. So the only way that they can learn something or memorize something is to do it over and over again.
You have a 16-year-old student.
Yes. He's absent now.
How was he? What do you think about his age? What's the least age to enroll this program?
The least?
Yes.
Actually, none.
None.
Yeah, the problem is the 6-month commitment. So if you're younger, for sure you'd be in school. So you cannot commit for 6 months. But I'm willing to teach anyone. If they're younger, like say 7, 8 years old, yeah, I might teach them on a separate class. Yeah.
It's possible?
Which it's possible, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we have courses geared towards younger people, let's say 4 years old up to 6 years old. They can start coding without even learning how to manipulate the computer that much yet.
These days some people want to learn Python or Swift. Can you also teach these?
Yes. So the why I'm not teaching it is it's not in the curriculum because I'm teaching them something that they could go out there, more practical. They can earn money the fastest way. If they want to learn in depth, let's say Python, Ruby on Rails, or AI in that sense, I can always teach that towards the last part of the bootcamp. And then I normally guarantee myself as a lifetime mentor for them. So if ever that they would, in like say 5 years from graduating the bootcamp, they want to learn something, they can easily message me, email me, or anything, and I'll teach them what to read. So it's not like I'm gonna teach you everything. Most of the time I probably don't know it as well. So I'm gonna research, do the initial research, like, hey, Google this. This might be helpful. So I'm a lifetime mentor to my students.
Lifetime?
Yeah. Yeah. So even like 5 years, 10 years from graduating, yeah, they can easily message me.
Wow. I'm kind of surprised that you can teach so many kinds of languages.
Because I have been programming since I was 8.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So you're sort of geek
Nah, I wouldn't call it that way. I have been programming since I was 8 because it's kind of like it started with a frustration that I cannot use our family computer because I don't know how to use it. So I kind of taught myself how to use it and might have overtaught myself with other stuff. So back then I was like third grade entering fourth grade. I got engaged with computer quiz bees and stuff. So yeah, back then I was doing quiz bees until high school and college. So
What's that? Quiz bees?
Oh yeah, competition. Like
competition.
yeah, learning competitions, mostly in computer.
Wow.
So I taught myself how to code at a young age
Wow.
using books, and I code on paper.
But your English is very like more on American English.
Yes, because I have worked with Americans for a very long time, probably more than 10 years. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
true.
The key here is what I'm teaching is something that I do professionally as well. So that's the difference between the normal school, some teacher teaching you how to code, whereas that teacher is a teacher. So I'm a programmer, I'm teaching you how to code. I'm not a teacher. So I still have my full-time job programming. So I practice what I teach.
Okay, that's nice. So if the students are fast learner and then they finish JavaScript and then the other things, and then also when they're doing the internship, if the company says these guys are good, you can teach further.
Yes.
Even AI,
Yes.
what else?
Blockchain.
Blockchain
Yes.
and
Yeah, AI, machine learning, AR, VR.
VR.
Yes.
Wow.
So those are all possible, but towards the end, because those are advanced techniques, they can learn it on their own. But if they're struggling with it, they can easily message me, even if it's after the bootcamp.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's great. This one is something new, so I need to talk to Ace. But if he agrees, like, if, for example, this January, we get a few students, for example.
Yes.
And if we make like a 1 month short course or a 2 month short course for professional people, the Japanese professional, to teach advanced IT, would it be possible for you?
Yeah, it's possible, but I wouldn't actually recommend that because there is a problem with advanced courses. Most advanced courses, enrollees don't know that they can comprehend that. So sometimes they feel that they're good enough, but once they started the short course, they don't know anything. That's a problem. So I wouldn't want that person to be holding the whole class back. So I might do an assessment before we do advanced training. Yeah.
So maybe they should send you the portfolio or
Portfolio and resume,
Yeah.
maybe, yeah. And then short interview.
maybe Skype interview.
Yes, short interview on Skype. And then I would say that, okay, this course is okay. But let's say, okay, you don't know this yet. Why not enroll in this yet? In this first before you take this. Yeah.
That's nice.
Because we only have 1 month to teach everyone this.
What do you think? Japanese people can catch up?
Yeah, they're good. Actually, what I like about Japanese people is they are very creative. So in terms of creativity, that's exactly what we need with programming because there are thousands of ways to solve a problem.
What can they do if they learned JavaScript?
JavaScript. So JavaScript is a very general term. They can start doing websites, or I teach my students how to create mobile apps using JavaScript. So JavaScript is very broad now. You can use it in a lot of places, doing mobile apps. They can even do programming in robotics using JavaScript if they want.
Apps for both
Android and
Android and
iOS,
wow.
yes.
So the course is 4th month, not 5th month.
5. 6 including the breaks. So first month they'd be doing most of the basics, JavaScript, HTML, CSS. They'd be doing online branding. So online branding meaning their personality, their personal branding. They'd be able to create like their elevator pitches. How do they introduce themselves? I teach them that as well.
Wow.
Because that's actually an essential skill with programmers. Even if you're the best programmer in the world, if you cannot explain what you just did, then it's hard for you. So I teach them that, how to present, how to actually create presentations.
Well, it's like business English.
Yes. Yeah, business, but in a culture closely related to the Silicon Valley culture on how they pitch their programs, their software that they just created and themselves. So I teach them that on the first month. Second month, I start teaching them more advanced JavaScript, a little bit of PHP, and just enough so that they can start using WordPress. And then third month, they'd be able to tackle like more advanced WordPress manipulations like development. And then by that time, they can create a WordPress website from scratch. If you give them like a design, like here's a flyer or here's an image file, I want my website to look like this, they can do that on WordPress already. And being on WordPress, they can easily sell that. So because people can like create their own pages, they can manage their own website after that. So it's easy to sell, so they can start earning if they want to on the third month. Fourth month, they'd be going into an internship. I assign them to opportunities. I have like my network, plus I find more people that more companies that might need an intern. And the good thing about it is an assisted internship, assisted remote internship. So meaning they're doing it remotely, but they should be here because if they have questions, I'm still here. So they will look way better to their employers.
Yeah. Because you're helping
Yes,
them?
because I'm helping them. Because if they have questions, they don't have to bother their employer that you don't know that or something like that. So I'm here for them. It's an assisted remote internship.
Okay. I remember that some students are asking because they're for them it's very what do you call this inviting, like they can work for Australian companies. Can they have an internship with them?
Sure. Australia is actually difficult because of the time zone. And opportunities in Australia is not that much. So I wouldn't actually recommend Australia. They're not paying that well compared to US and UK.
Wow.
But if they want Australia, yeah, I'm sure I can find like people from Australia.
How about US?
Yeah, US. US is easier for me because that's been my like network for the longest time.
Oh, so if they are good enough and then they want, they can probably can get internship from.
Yeah, for sure. If they want it to be like if they even want to fly to the US, yeah, I can help them. Like land placements, secure work visas, or because I know some companies who are eligible to issue work visas if needed.
Wow, that's really good.
Yeah. Although it's very hard now because of Trump. But
So can they also work in the? Can they do internship in the US if they pay for their flights?
oh yeah. If they pay for everything, they just need a contact. They just need a person in there. Yeah, I can give that. Them.
Internship is usually here
1 month.
right?
Yeah, 1 month.
So they don't need a visa.
Yeah,
tourist visa.
If it's Japan, yeah, they don't need visa.
Wow.
They can do a J1 visa for student visa or something
Which
like that.
part of United States can you assist the students who want to?
I got like people from all over the US, like from New York to California to even like down south, Texas or Florida. Yeah.
In that case, can you approximately more or less how much for the living cost?
Very expensive. It's very expensive in the US. Like an apartment in there is like $800, $900 a month. So it's very expensive. So I wouldn't recommend that, but if they want to, I can give them all those options.
But the good thing about that is they can go to their office and you meet the Americans and working
Oh, yeah.
together with them.
Actually, good. Like there's another option that if they want to work with Americans, there are Americans that are already operating in the Philippines. So I have like some American friends, like especially like this one upstairs, Linkage. They're Americans. They're operating in the Philippines. So essentially, you're working for an American company.
That's right.
Yeah.
They're Americans here working.
Yeah. So here in Baguio, I know like a few friends from the US that settled in Baguio and do their business here.
And they can work with Americans if they want to experience it, and then
Yeah.
you can help them out.
Sure. Yeah. That's included in the package. They don't even have to in a normal school. You have to find your own company for you to be interning in. In here, I assign them to companies.
Usually, how many hours do your students study or work?
Oh, all right. So we start normally at 10 a.m. Shift times towards the night because of US hours so that they can get used to it. But they do work, they do study at least 7 hours a day, 6 hours a day. Yeah.
Do some students study after the boot camp? At
They
home?
should. They should.
They should.
Yeah, they should.
How many hours do you recommend?
Actually, I normally read. Personally, I read 3 to 4 hours a day of just about anything.
You read?
Yeah. So I read.
You're already good.
But yeah, still, it's a continuous study. So it doesn't stop. So the next that's why we're doing it in the fastest way possible. Because if you do a 4-year course in college, the moment that you graduate, there's something else. You cannot use what you have learned from college. That's fast. So that's why we're doing it fast and we're updating ourselves. That's why it's very essential for the students to start learning how to teach themselves as early as we can.